Today I'm covering the AT-ST and Snowspeeder mini models by Bandai. They are tiny models of 1 to 144 scale. Box, as you can probably see, is not huge. So we've got the AT-ST and the Snowspeeder. Now, Snowspeeder is barely bigger than my thumb. Just to give you an idea of the size of the kit, the box contains the instructions. They're literally built into the box. And it's not at all complex. The kits themselves, as I've already said, are rather small. First I'm going to start by painting the window cowling for the Snowspeeder. Those windows are not very big. At a couple of millimeters across each. So what I'm going to do first is cut this section out, then I'm going to paint it. I'm going to be using some black paint just to black out all the windows. So, this is actually supposed to be accent colour for panel lines and the like, but it'll work just as well for windows. So all I'm doing is painting them in. And because this is a rather thin blend, I can just use some paper towel to remove the excess, hopefully. And considering how tiny some of the windows are, you're looking at sort of a millimetre or two across. This method is looking a hell of a lot easier than trying to do it the traditional way. And as these are tiny kits, I don't really want to spend hours on them going for absolutely perfect paintwork. So that there is the cockpit window section. I'm just moving that out of the way. So now I'm going to assemble the rest of the Snowspeeder. As you can tell, really high parts count on this thing. I think you're looking at about 15 or 20 parts. So these three make up the main body. And then all the extra bits are little add-ons. Now this can just be snap fit, but I personally prefer to glue the kits. It tends to give you a much better finish, and I also apply some kind of paint, despite the fact these don't really need it. You can get away with just using the decal sheet. So there's the main bulk of the Snowspeeder. I use the term bulk very loosely. So now I want to add the guns. So a little tiny drop of glue to assemble that. And they were the near side as I'm looking at it. Again, side cutters leave almost nothing to clean up, and this time I can actually do the cleanup with just the side cutters. On reflection, this would have been easier if I put the cannon on before putting on the side section, so I'm going to see if I can actually take the not sure what to call this section, but this bit off and put the guns on first. Mostly because clearances are tight enough to make this rather difficult to squeeze on, and I'd rather mess around with the bigger, bulkier bit than the little tiny, very fragile looking gun section. And that just really doesn't want to go on. Oh, it looks like I might have been trying to put it on the wrong way up. I didn't think that was possible based on the shape of the part, but anyway. Nope, and it wasn't. I was definitely trying to put it on the right way around the first time, because it does not sit flush this way around. Okay, that's got it. That was actually not especially easy. So now I'm going to do the gun assembly on the other side. Having learned my lesson last time, I'm going to pay close attention to this bit here and just make sure I smooth that off properly before trying assembly, because that seemed to be what was getting me the problem. Actually see a little bit of flash that I somehow missed before putting this down, but that doesn't matter because I can soon fix that with a blade. I'm fixing some errors I noticed. These were on backwards, which is why it was such a tight fit. They were actually supposed to be on the opposite side, despite the fact I read the instructions and the instructions said to us on a certain side. I'd missed another section, but anyway, that doesn't matter. So, all that's left now is a gun, which is so microscopically tiny it's going to be near impossible to handle this thing without breaking it. Isn't that fun? This little tiny bit, sort of 2 or 3 millimeters long, is the harpoon tow cable cannon. This is going to be hard to get in position without breaking it, but let's see if I can do it. Okay, that's actually in. And I might be able to paint it without breaking it. Now I'm just going to clean up the cockpit section, then I'll insert that. So I've got a fine sanding stick. The paint's been on here long enough to have cured, so I just lightly sand back the section, and that should expose the frame without sanding back the paint from the windows. So there's the cockpit section. So now I'm going to stick down the cockpit section. And there is the Snowspeeder, 90% complete. There's just a few decals to stick to it and a bit of paintwork. I'll be painting the gun and the grille section in a dark metallic colour, just because that's how it looked to me in the film. Of course, The Empire Strikes Back. If you disagree, that's absolutely fine. I'm not making 100% screen accurate, I'm making it for what I remember. So, now I'm going to do the AT-ST, All-Terrain Scout Transport, AT-ST as some people call it. So we start with the chin gun. So yeah, they've got a fairly simple joint to stick them together. Again, these are supposed to be snap fits, so they should press fit without any glue, but I just prefer gluing them because that makes it a lot easier to cover up any seams. So that there is the chin gun, which you can see if I move those side cutters out of the way. Next up, I'm supposed to do the two side sections and pinch the chin gun between them. So this will form the main cockpit, or body, or whatever you want to call it. So, push the chin gun in there, and then just glue this whole section. And I did double check, you're definitely supposed to do this before you stick the ball joint in for the side torso and legs. So up next I've got 3 sections for the top, front and back of the cockpit. So again, I'm going to glue them in place. And so far these parts have required almost no cleanup at all. There have been a couple of pieces where the cutters didn't quite remove them smoothly from the sprues, but yeah. Very, very minimal cleanup. These are very good moulds. So that there is the cockpit section. So now for the waist, for want of a better term. Another very rare bit of cleanup needed. There's a little knob on this side which I want to sort out. So again, sharp knife, and I just trim it off. Or I could use a standing stick, or I could attack it again with the side cutters. I prefer to use a sharp knife, of course. If you're a young child, probably best not to do that. Another little tiny piece. For such a tiny kit, it's hardly surprising there are several very small pieces. So now the waist piece proper envelops that section. And this is a big, huge, well, comparable to the size of a kit, a relatively large ball joint to hold it all together, which comes at the front of a section. So this comes into here, this comes into here, and one of the advantages of having such a thin glue is you can partially fit the parts, then you can just squeeze the brush with the paint in, oh sorry, glue, not paint, and glue it in position. Now you add the two legs to the waist section. Unfortunately the legs are all one piece, so there's no sort of bending the knees or ankles or any of that. Which when I do its bigger brother, currently on order, not here yet. Hopefully there'll be a whole lot more articulation. And if I ever get around to doing the larger scale version of this kit, again, should be a lot more articulation options. But this is mostly to go on a diorama of 72 scale, 1/44 scale ships and vehicles. Which it turns out there's quite a few. I fully intend to eventually build a series of 72nd scale Star Wars ships and models, but that's for another time. So, only thing missing now are the arms. Those RAM sticks, which I retired from my computer a few years back, are not in any way intended as advertising. It's just a flat surface so I can get this to attempt to stand up. So there's the Scout Transport, there's the Snowspeeder, and they don't look bad for, what, 20 or 30 minutes total, but I'm not done yet. I'm going to do the paintwork and then I'll get back to you and show you the finished models. So this here is a iron coloured paint, one of the darker metallic colours. So what I'm going to do is apply it to this grill and the gun. Assuming of course I can. Okay, this brush is remarkably rubbish. It's a brand new one which came through with a kit, so I should have known better than to expect anything from it. But that's going on better. Now this paint might not look metallic now, but it's a rub-on buff-off type deal. You paint it on and then give it sort of 20 minutes to dry and rub it off. And when you rub it, well, not rub it off, but rub it to shine it up, it becomes a pretty convincing metallic. All I'm doing here is cleaning the paintbrush so it doesn't go all hard and nasty. I'm not sure whether the stickers it comes with are actual decals or stickers, but one way to find out. I do feel more like stickers. Yeah, that's not unusual for Bandai to do stickers rather than decals on the smaller scale kits. So the AT-ST has sticker number 20, and these are small enough that I can barely see them. 20 looks like this little tiny one here. So I'm using the edge of the blade to pick it up because it's not going to be easy to get up otherwise. So here's number 20. It's supposed to come on upper leading edge, looks like right above the laser cannon in the corner. So let's see if I can apply that there. Well, not laser cannon, it's a grenade launcher, but anyway, yeah. So that is the only decals, or sticker or whatever, supposed to be applied to the scout transport. So now, because I don't really want to be applying anything whilst this is drying, I'm going to go to panel lining the scout transport. I'm using a grey colour paint. I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. If it doesn't, I'll go for a different colour, but basically all you do is lather on a layer of this, and then rub it off and it'll pull out all the highlights, assuming there's enough contrast. So a little bit of paper towel, just rub over. And what I didn't notice at the time was the sticker was going all over the place. I ended up losing that sticker, but it was a tiny thing, so I wasn't too bothered. And that has really brought it to life, at least to my eye. So I'm not sure if that's long enough for the Snowspeeder or not, but I'm going to try buffing up this metallic now, see if it has had long enough to dry. And this time I'm going to do the detailing before I put the stickers on, just because of how that proved a nightmare last time. Okay, that's worked pretty well. The metallic has been brought out a bit. So now I'm going to do the same with the Snowspeeder that I just did with the AT-ST, go over it with this light grey to bring out some of the detail. Okay, so now I'll need to leave it 10 minutes or so before I attack the Snowspeeder with the stickers. I tried doing a freehand move around shot of them, but that proved to be so badly shaky, I decided bad idea, hence the photos. The AAA battery is there to give you a sense of scale. Now, with the Scout Transport, I ended up going with a couple more layers of wash. I did a darker wash to bring up the panel lines a bit better. And I'm not sure if you can see, but I actually did a brown colour wash to go over the feet and ankles for an endo type thing, you know, as if it's got muddy. They've tried to clean it up, but haven't been quite successful. The Snowspeeder, well, you can see the little harpooning gun as used to great effect against a certain larger walking vehicle.
No prizes for guessing what my next model kit video is going to be. And yeah, it won't be a year before this one. It'll certainly be within the next month, probably more like a week or two. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions or suggestions, by all means put them in the comments. Bye.